Well, thanks to Draw15 for linking in the chat. So, um, I guess forgot my intro. I didn't really forget it. I was just captured by the moment. So, okay, Scoop, back with some Draft League or Draft Premier League Season 2 content. We have the playoffs once again. Crit City taking on Zero Fox Given. So Crit City taking on Zero Fox Given. Khaz playing for Crit City and Mayo playing for Zero Fox Given. Basically, what's happened in the game so far was I believe Khaz started out with his Whimsicott and Mayo led with his Torn, forcing him to Rotom, and then Rotom, I think, burned the incoming Amoonguss. As Amoonguss goes for the sleep, Klefki reveals the safety goggles, and then it kind of goes from there as hazards go up. Scizor defogs hazards away quite a few times, back and forth for a moment. Mayo makes some manly plays, staying in versus a Whimsicott with Politoed and going for the Scald. Very, very man play there. Garchomp has put on quite a bit of offensive pressure so far, and we'll get to what's going on screen here in just a second. So quite a few times, hazards go up, multiple hazards, Spike and Stealth Rock, and Scizor continuously defogs them away as Infernape can comfortably come in on that and then get the rocks right back up. Tornadus applying a lot of offensive pressure as well, and ultimately got paralyzed by Klefki, but the Uxie revealed Hillbill and was able to, pretty much save the entirety of Mayo's squad. But he was forced to go into his Scizor eventually, taking close to 50% from hazards alone, I believe, and defogging hazards away once again. Eventually it came down to well, let's talk about the missing mons, I guess. Whimsicott dropped to a Poison Jab prediction from the Garchomp, which was really lit. And then from that point on, Mayo was kind of in the driver's seat, but there were still outs for Khaz, if that makes sense. So what ended up happening was Landers comes in and actually sets up a substitute and reveals Swords Dance sub, as the Uxie was actually faster, which was probably the saving grace here, because the knockoff knocked out the Uxie, despite it being a crit. It was probably knocked out anyway. Landers is strong. Politoed came in, and I thought it was going to be Choice Scarf, but it actually just dropped to the Earthquake from Landers, and then in come the Garchomp. So Khaz sacked off the Rotom, brought in the Gardevoir, and that's where we are now. Turn 43, missed quite a bit of turns. And I really wanted to make sure that I at least got one of these Crit City Zero Fox Given games. I felt like, being 4-4 still, and at the time of the recording, when I first started, I believe it was 5-5, and now it's 4-4 with plenty of game to be played here, so we'll see what happens. If Mayo's a man, he stays in here and clicks Earthquake, predicting the double into Infernape, expecting either the Mega Scizor or the Amoonguss. And if Khaz is a man, then he just clicks, he goes into Landers. It goes back into the Landers just to get the Intimidate off, I think would be the play. I don't know why Garchomp was able to even force out the Landers. Well, obviously it has the Aqua Tail and in rain, but does that knock out without a boost? Landers at 96%. Perhaps it's a boosted item, Garchomp, though, and he perhaps knows that from earlier damage. Well, I'm not sure. Either way, This is, I'm pretty sure this is Mega Gardevoir, and it would not outpace a max speed Garchomp, so I don't think it's Choice Scarf Gardevoir. I think it's Mega, and like I said, it won't be able to outpace a Garchomp if Garchomp's running speed investment. Scizor being a defog variant, I don't think it's going to have like Swords Dance or anything like that, so I don't necessarily see it as a win condition. It could perhaps come in and try to roost up right now, or he could go for damage on the Gardevoir to put it in range of something like Tornadus. So he goes for the Hyper Voice, does a nice 31%. Looks like it could potentially be a roll, but I don't know what set either player has. So 31 might be the max damage it could possibly do, and 34% guarantees survival. Like I said, I'm not 100% on that. I don't know how much Hidden Power Fire does in the rain. Scizor having defog and potentially roost, I would assume it's rather bulky. And Mayo making the man's play here. I don't think he gains anything out of it because Klefki is such an easy switch in. But you do have 100% accurate Hurricanes now, which is cool. Safety goggles have been knocked off of Klefki already, so Amoonguss can now put that thing to sleep, and Khaz has no actual sleep fodder, which is interesting, and I think something that's very, very, very noteworthy at this point, at this stage of the game, I should say. Infernape has one of the best designs in Pokemon history, in my opinion, by far. Garchomp as well, and Scizor. 3 of my favorite Pokemon. So he does U-turn out, expecting the Infernape to switch out here, and Khaz does go out to his Klefki. We'll be able to get up Spikes here, or well, he's revealed Spikes and Thunder Wave at least. I don't think he's revealed anything else. No. And Garchomp has revealed 4 attacks. Has it revealed Earthquake? No, but it hasn't revealed Earthquake, but you have to assume that that's an attack that it has. I mean, it's Garchomp, so Dragon Claw, Aqua Tail, Poison Jab. It only makes sense that it would be Earthquake, and it does make sense that it's a Choice Scarf Garchomp here, which I don't know if that actually has enough attack potency to knock out. However, what I do know is that Klefki could pack the Magnet Rise and avoid Earthquake altogether here. So the play might actually be to just click Aqua Tail, especially if it's an item boosting or a boosting item on the Garchomp. I think Aqua Tail is the play. Otherwise, the play is definitely to click Earthquake. If he's not choice locked, the play is to click Earthquake. If he is choice locked, I believe the play is to click Aqua Tail, because Tornadus, Scizor, and Amoonguss are really applying the pressure here once Klefki goes down, especially the Tornadus. The only sensible Earthquake switch in at this point would be the Landers. So I definitely felt like Aqua Tail was the play, and he does go for Aqua Tail. So a really solid play there by Mayo. However, Infernape reveals the Rocky Helmet, and the Garchomp is only at 14% at this point in the game. So he couldn't necessarily click Aqua Tail again. But Garchomp actually reveals to not be Choice Scarf. It may have revealed that earlier in the game, but I'm not sure. Like I said, I just started this game in the middle of the match and briefly skimmed over the other turns as I got to the end here. So Infernape in the rain, not able to pick up the knockout there. Garchomp surviving on a nice 3%. And man, this game's looking really, really tight here. Coming in the end phase here. So, once again, touching back on it, Khaz is playing for Crit City, captained and co-captained by Panther and Jacob as always. The same team featuring Gypsy King. And then Mayo is representing and playing for Zero Fox Given. I believe they are coached by Genius X. I forgot who the other coach might be. I definitely think Genius is the coach. And then they have players like Jacko and who else do they have on their squad? I forgot. Definitely have Jacko, I believe. And then Gregulator. Forgot who their co-captain is. I think they have Metal Friday as well. Forgot who their co-captain is though. Or it might be their captain and Genius is the co-captain. Either way, forgot their other captain. And in comes the Gardevoir. So Mega Gardevoir are going to be able to easily tank. I don't know if you... I think Scizor just wins at this point. As long as you're able to get some sort of damage on the Landers and don't allow it to set up. I think there's an out there. You might want to save Garchomp specifically to get the Earthquake damage on the Klefki. And then Tornadus is looking sound. Looking really, really good here. So Poison Jab doesn't knock out from this range, I'm assuming. I don't think you'd bring in Mega Gardevoir. Knowing that the Garchomp could potentially outspeed and has Poison Jab, I don't think you bring in Gardevoir just to let it take Poison Jab damage and potentially faint. So I assume that Khaz knows he's going to survive the Poison Jab, and in return going to be able to knock out the Garchomp, or he's just predicting the Garchomp to switch out here. Like he knows that Mayo may need the Garchomp to guarantee damage on Klefki, whereas something like Scizor could be paralyzed with Thunder Wave. Same thing for Tornadus and Amoonguss. Those three Pokemon, while it's not necessarily likely that they don't move at all, it is possible that they do not move at all in the rest of this game if they get paralyzed by the Klefki. Garchomp's being, it's there as the only Pokemon that cannot be paralyzed by Klefki, and not only that, it has a super effective stab, same type attack bonus, Earthquake damage, that's going to do quite a bit of damage to the Klefki, putting things like Tornadus in a super solid position, especially if that is Z Tornadus, and especially with Rain being up for potentially 4 more turns. Well, I guess 3 after this turn, which would limit 1 extra turn from the Rain there. So, at minimum, 1 turn of Rain here, and this is going to be the last turn, or there's going to be 3 turns after that. I'm not sure if we saw an item on the Politoed. I don't think we did. So Gardevoir's only revealed Hyper Voice so far, and earlier it did 31% to the Mega Scizor. Mega Scizor sitting at 34% right now. Now, if 31 is the max that Hyper Voice can do to the Scizor, then Scizor is probably the play. Comes in and clicks Roost. Comes in and clicks Bullet Punch, gets quite a bit of damage off on the Gardevoir, perhaps leaving it in range of Garchomp's Poison Jab, in which Garchomp could then revenge kill the Mega Gardevoir, do quite a bit of damage to the Landers with the Aqua Tail, and knocks out the Klefki with Earthquake. So then the play would be for Khaz to go into Landers on the Garchomp. So it'll be interesting to see what both players choose to do here. Both players taking their time, that's for sure. I believe we've been talking about this turn for at least 18 or 35 minutes or something like that. Quite a bit of time. I know that was quite a big gap, but we're not going to talk about that. So the Gardevoir actually outpaces the Garchomp. prompt Mayo to go hard out into his Tornadus and reveal the Z move. Supersonic Sky Strike from like a max special attack. Tornadus Therian. It should do quite a bit of damage to landers. So yeah, and since the play could have been to Swords Dance or Earthquake there. Oh, so this is not Z Tornadus. The play was to sub or Swords Dance there, and he decided to sub, and I think Tornadus was the best play, as if you did sub, you could break the sub, as well as if you went for immediately for the Swords Dance, you could also just attack hard. So Tornadus reveals the Assault Vest, and now Landers is now not afraid of a Hurricane. Has to bank on Confusion here. Oh my god. He got the Confusion as well. That may or may not have been a choke. May or may not have been a choke. I'm excited to see the chat in game and in the Discord server later. So there was a UFC event tonight, and I believe I think she was flyweight champion. Flyweight champion defended her belt. I think the next big event is Stipe Miocic versus Daniel Cormier. So definitely looking forward to that. If you guys keep up with the UFC, please, and you're hearing this part of the video, please do leave your comments on that fight. Who do you guys think is going to win? Also, Nate Diaz returning to action versus Anthony Pettis. I think that's going to be a welterweight bout, which was fantastic for Anthony. He seems to have no trouble with that cut, obviously, and doesn't seem too undersized. I don't think he would be able to fight somebody like Tyron Woodley or Kamaru Usman or Colby Covington or any of those guys. But nonetheless, some huge threats there. Definitely some huge threats. So back to the game here is both players choosing their turn. Khaz decides to get up a spike as Mayo just clicks the bullet punch there, doing over 30%. So unless that's a roll, this Scizor could very well take out this Klefki here, and is able to get some nice damage there. Oh man, holy fuck. So, oh snap, look at everything that just happened there. The Klefki set up the light screen as it committed suicide. Gardevoir comes in, tanks the bullet punch from nearly full on, I believe it was like, what, 4% or so? Something like that. Gets off the Healing Wish to the Landers, puts Landers back at full, basically putting all your chickens into one basket here, banking on Landers Therian, because the game is a wrap otherwise. So, the plays here are the ones that matter. So, you're going to Swords Dance, what, once? Twice? It depends on what the Scizor does here. If the Scizor stays in, I think it's probably going to be a wrap. If the Scizor hard switches, then again Mayo has the chance for, first of all, at this range, Tornadus doesn't drop to a +2 Hurricane, or excuse me, +2 knockoff, and you have the chance to go for the Hurricane once again. Landers has no way to set up speed, so Tornadus should always outpace. Actually goes for the defog, then hard switches into Tornadus. Probably gonna hope to, what's the word here, break the sub with the Hurricane, assuming he lands. Yeah, Hurricane's the only play. Well, let me double check. It's smooth set. I believe it's knockoff and sludge bomb. Yeah. Knockoff, sludge bomb, U-turn, and Hurricane was definitely the last move. And it wasn't Z move because it was assault vest. One Hurricane miss and it's over. Wow. So this is extremely long thus far. I don't know if I'm going to upload a video this long. I think I may edit it. Go over the first few minutes like I did, keep that part, and then make sure that I'm able to not only get that part, but get some of the key parts of the battle thus far, and then this end game here from the light screen up to the healing wish and the landers being at +4 attack here, and kind of looking like a wrap because this +4 knockoff does knock out the Tornadus. Tornadus cannot. So his only out is Hurricane Confusion. Oh no. I just got this terrible gut feeling in my stomach that this thing is going to get confused. It's going to take roughly half from the Hurricane, and it's going to get confused. It's going to hit itself in confusion, and at +3, it's going to knock itself out. So he missed. Oof. Does he risk it here? Bro, if I'm Khaz, I click sub. Hurricane's not going to do half. The play's the sub. So Khaz went just straight for the confusion. And he fucking got it, yo. He fucking got it. This game is trash. I'm telling you, RNGG, that's the only GG I can say.